Okay, this is not part of the 3 minutes, but please subscribe, ask your friends to subscribe, and if you can afford it, please send a check or some cash to keep us on the air, because Canadians need a good analysis of the issues. And you don't get it for sure in a lot of the Prime Minister paid media that's going around. And this one is not Prime Minister paid either. But usually, really until recently, most Canadians thought of multiculturalism as one of the banners of Canada. And, you know, people thought this was just great for the last few generations. And it may be changing. Andrew Enns is the Executive Vice President of Leger Polling. He joins me right now because you put out a poll and it says something different about multiculturalism. Tell us about it.
Well, look, thanks very much for having me on. And yes, our poll does say something different about multiculturalism. We asked in November, early part of November, we asked a number of questions around how people felt about diversity in the country and just whether it's a good thing, bad thing, whether the government's doing enough about integrating new Canadians.
Wait, we don't assimilate Canadians.
I know for sure. But you know what got me thinking about this, Stephen, was the fact that the Prime Minister talked a lot about diversity as our strength and we can do better. And a lot of the Palestinian, what we're seeing in some of this stuff is brilliant. Right. So I wanted to understand, how do Canadians feel about diversity? And we asked that question, is it our strength? 1/4 said it felt like a strength, and about 76% felt it's a problem. To some degree.
That's huge.
It is
because
huge.
It was Trudeau Pierre Trudeau, who said multiculturalism, come to Canada and keep your culture. And though it's also going around the world, I know in Britain, some ministers are saying, who are the son of immigrants, saying, you don't come to Britain to keep your own culture. You come to Britain to be British, and you can, still be, Palestinian or whatever. Are we going that way, do you think?
Well, I don't think we do that in Canada. And certainly, I think we asked a question, and it's a textbook, age-old question that we all grew up with in school. The melting pot or the cultural mosaic?
The United States was a melting pot.
They were the bad melting pot, and they were doing this way, and people lost their identities. And in Canada, we were proud of this mosaic.
So why do you think people are changing now then?
I don't know, Stephen, in the sense we didn't dig that deep, but I think people are looking around and seeing challenges, not just this Palestinian, people, bringing a lot of these things to Canada that maybe other Canadians are going, why are we dealing with this?
Why are we having a war in India fought out on Canadian terms, or Middle East fought out?
Or even some of the Chinese electoral interference, and we see some pressures in that community, and you get people spying on each other within the community. It's like, wait a minute.
Don't be a Chinese nationalist in Canada. If you come to Canada, be a Chinese Canadian.
Sure. And there's nothing wrong with that.
More people are thinking that way? Well, you said 75% are.
I think there's a lot of people that are wondering what it is that are we doing something? Are we missing something? I don't think they're not being anti-immigrant. I don't think so. I don't think they're being anti-cultural. I think what they're just wondering about more the Canada in us, the Canadian in us.
Pro-Canadian.
Yeah.
More on that later. Andrew, thank you very much. 3 minutes. From your comments, I know many of you appreciate the fact that this is where you can get an analysis that you're not going to get in that old school news. Canada needs more informed voters. Please ask your friends to subscribe, and don't forget PayPal. God, let's get paid.